Oh, hey! Don't mind me just rummaging through my junk drawer. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome to the channel. Today we're gonna be making a scarf. I've been seeing a ton of knit and crochet tulip scarves on the internet, but because I cannot crochet or knit to save my life, I will be making one from a sewing machine and some felt scraps that exist somewhere in this room. So, okay, let's get into it. Now, in theory, you're supposed to wash your fabric, obviously, but I'm lazy, so I'm actually just gonna use it straight out of the box. I'm sure this was washed before since it's been sewn into something. I honestly don't remember what this was for, but it's definitely been pre-washed. Like, it's not factory dirt on it, just dust from being in a box for years. But so this is basically already in a tube. So actually what I'm gonna do, instead of unpicking all of this out so it's flat, I'm just gonna draw my shape that I want directly on it. Like, put the seam to one side, draw the pattern that I want, because I want vines. So then I'm gonna do like the leaves and stuff, and then just sew directly on the piece. I think that would make a lot of sense. I just need to figure out how long I want the scarf to be. The best way to test is obviously to just throw it on yourself. Boom, boom. Yeah, I think that might be too long. So let's see, because we're gonna add the flower bit to the end, right? So I think that's a good length for the stem. And then like that. Because we don't want it to be too tight. I think I want it to be kind of loose. So then we can chop it like right there. Or should it be shorter? Should it be shorter? Will I double do? No, I won't do that. I think we just chop it here. Where are my skizzers? This whole project is a winging it situation, so we're just gonna wing it. Kind of looks right? We're just gonna. I'm such a professional. Bam! That was too short. Oh well, this is what we got, so this is what we're working with. But for reference sake, so you know how long I went with here in case you want to recreate this, 83 inches total that I cut out. So do with that information what you will, and let's try doing the tulips. This is the fabric felt bits that I have. I guess these aren't really scraps, but because they still have a sticker on it. It's like, ah, damn. But anyways, I'm thinking we go with the pink because it's the most obvious for tulips. The green on green would clash. Hold on, let me bring this in. The yellow is just blends in too much. I guess the orange, but the problem with this felt is that it's kind of see-through. Like, I feel like that would tear. So I'm not gonna go with that. I think I'm gonna go with this one. It's not see-through at all. It's more dense, it's more like a heavyweight felt. It's not heavyweight, but compared to that flimsy thingy, this is nice. Yeah, I think the purple is too dark and gloomy. The green on green is silly, so we're going with the pink. So because there's only so much that I can do here with one sheet of felt, because I have to, you know, double it, I'm gonna cut out the tulip bit first to figure out how big the stem. I don't want the proportions to be off, because right now, for instance, if we cut out a tulip that's like half the size here, right? Like this big, the stem bit would be way too large for that, right? So in order to determine how big this can be, we need to figure out the size of this tulip flower bit first, right? Make sense? Good. Obviously, because I like to take the easy way out of things, I'm just gonna Google tulip and then trace the tulip shape. Okay, I think that's a good one. That's a good one right there. I kind of like this one, so let's just zoom into this. Oi, oi. Nope, I guess not. Let's just zoom in. Ugh, hello. Technical difficulties. Let's take a screenshot. Open that up. Oi. Zoom in. Let's see if we can fit that in here. Right, I think that's a perfect size there, huh? That is the perfect size. But maybe we want bigger. Let's zoom in just a little bit more. It won't allow me to do that. Okay, so let's do another screenshot. And zoom in a little. That's ginormous. Right, I think that works. If we do it that way. Okay, perfect. Grab a piece of paper. We're gonna do brightness all the way up. Put a piece of paper on. Grab a utensil of any kind and trace away. Okay, now that we have our shape, it's just about making it look a bit better. Okay, I think that's right. When in doubt, when you're doing something symmetrical like this, the best thing you can do is actually just fold it in half. You know what, let's do that. Let's fold it in half. So let's grab some scissors. And there you go. Sandwich it in half. Put this on here. Ooh, it could have been a bit bigger, but we always want to account for a little bit of seam allowance. Then trace out the shape onto the felt. I usually use pins, but today I'm going to use clips. I just bought these. I want to try them out, so take it to the machine and stitch all around, leaving a gap at the bottom. The whole space where it's flat is what I'm going to leave out. All right, I say that's about 2 inches. Let's grab some scissors and just cut about a 1/4 inch seam allowance all around. Now, you see all these curves here? When we turn them inside out, they're not gonna lay very well because they're gonna be snagged and the tension is just not right, because the tension will be pulling on the seam allowance. And so it won't lay the way we want it to, but if we want it to keep the same shape, the way to do that is to put a ton of slits, being careful not to nick what we just sewed. And here at these corners here, we're just gonna slice it off like that, because it's just too much bulk. The sharper the turn, the less fabric you want laying there, okay? Okay, bag it inside out. For corners like this that are hard to get into, we're gonna use a pin to just pull everything out. Moving on to the vine or stem part of the scarf, let's start by drawing out a leaf pattern on some scrap paper and cut it out. Measuring the opening of the tulip here, we have about 2 inches to work with, so I'm gonna draw 2 parallel lines in the middle of my green fabric that are 2 inches apart. Place the leaf pattern in the angle I want it to be, then mark that position on the paper pattern like this. Fold on that line, then bam! Now you have the perfect leaf pattern you can trace over and over again. Keep doing this all the way down your fabric, then use some pins, or in my case, some clips to keep that fabric in place. Take it to the machine and just follow the lines you made to stitch it all down. Once that's done, cut off all that extra bulk, giving it about a 1/2 inch seam allowance all around. Again, we have a curvy piece, so we have to clip the seam allowance. Grab a safety pin, attach it to one side of the fabric, then bag it out. Using the same safety pin, pull out each leaf so it looks something like this. Gotta do that all the way down our tube, fold in the seam allowance on both the tulip and stem, hand stitch it together, then give it a good press. I'm gonna do that all off camera, then show you the results in 3, 2, 1. I look good. This has got to be the cutest scarf I own. Is it warm enough for snowy season? Absolutely not, but I drive everywhere, so I'll definitely be able to get some use out of this before scarf season is over. If I had to give this a rating, I think it deserves a solid 10 out of 10. I can't think of a single thing that needs to be fixed or how I would do this differently. Honestly, I kind of want to make another one in yellow. This pink tulip clashes with my long coats, so yeah, I need this in more colors. Well, that's all I got for you today, my lovelies. I hope this inspired you to make your own scarf with whatever materials you have at home. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.